What's going on, gamers? It's your boy Diggs Gaming. Welcome back to All Funkins Gaming News. And today I am joined with
your boy, Sir Meliodas.
Welcome back, Meliodas. It's you
Welcome.
and me again. Wait, is it just you and me?
I don't know. Is it?
I'm back. It's KB.
Oh, KB is back.
Holy smokes.
How does it feel to be back, KB? How does it feel?
It's nice. I didn't miss this.
And I'm sure everybody missed you.
Are we getting a band back together, guys?
We're starting to. We are starting to.
We just need JoJo
and we still got to get Paul on here at some point. Starting off, we got some things coming out of Activision Blizzard. Some good and some bad. First things first. Activision has appointed a new Chief Diversity, Equality, and Inclusion Officer. When I heard about this, I'm like, why didn't they do this earlier? I mean,
yeah,
this should have been done earlier. Oh, what'd you say, KB? Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you.
A little slow on the roll, you know?
I will say this is good, and I'm glad they're doing this, but this just should have been done earlier. It's like the good things that Activision Blizzard has done since the whole lawsuit. It's stuff that should have been done earlier, like this. I mean, Chief Diversity, Equality, and Inclusion Officer. I mean, what, a year and a half after the whole lawsuit? It seems like they were a little slow on the jump on this one. Meliodas, what do you think?
I think they cared until Microsoft bought them out.
Probably.
They were like, we're already at our bottom. Like, what more can we lose? That was their whole mantra. What more can we lose? We don't care. And Microsoft was like, yeah, no, we're buying you out. So you gotta save your face. So now that they have Microsoft under them and they're getting new people that know what they're doing. So
yeah.
Well, yeah, we still have to see how that goes through. And it's still not official that deal is going to go through just yet. I mean, some of the things that have been coming out of that concerned a little bit, but in the end, this deal is going to go through. I think it's 100% certain this deal is going to go through, but there are some bugs that need to be figured out. Second thing from Activision, got some news that Raven Software over the last few months has been losing a lot of its developers, and a lot of them have been going to Santa Monica, the developer of the God of War franchise. When I heard about this, that kind of threw me for a loop. It's like, what's going on with Raven Software? Now, Raven Software, Sir Meliodas can tell you that's a part of Activision. They've been mainly doing stuff with Call of Duty lately, but Raven Software was a very talented.
Why they're leaving.
Yeah, that's probably it.
They're wasting their talents on Call of Duty when they could be making bigger, better games like the next God of War or the next anything, actually.
Yeah, and that's really the crazy part about this. And like I said, this is not just all at a time. It's just been going on for the past few months, and that's just so crazy that we're hearing about this right now. You know, it's not something that I find shocking, and it might also give some insight into how some people feel about Activision Blizzard being bought out by Microsoft as well. I think that's another thing to this. Like, do they really think things are going to get better with Microsoft, especially with some of the stuff that's been coming out with the initiative, how they've been having so much problems getting the Perfect Dark reboot, get that started. And then Crystal Dynamics basically has taken over the project. And then the whole thing with Undead Labs, how they have had a little bit of problems with their workplace with some of the things that they have done. So it is a little concerning with this.
Well, when you buy the tree, you get the roots as well. So Activision has much more deeper content than just Activision themselves. So I can see why they bought them. Again, like I said, the main example was Ravensoft themselves. The talent that they have in there, and then they're like, yo, we're wasting our talent here, just making called every time, to where they want to go out with a studio that's making bigger and better games to where they can really express their content. So
that's a great point about it. It's just the fact that it's getting to the point where you really have to think, how have some of these people lasted as long as they have when all they're doing is working on Call of Duty? And it really is just something that you have to realize. How did this go on for so long? And then now it's just reaching the boiling point. Like, what was the final straw that broke the camel's back on this?
I feel like it does just tie into it was too little, too late from Activision. Like
Yeah.
you
Mhm.
got to think if they're willing to let like this really big stuff slide with discrimination and everything, what little stuff is just like weighing down on these creators, especially if they're doing one thing all the time. You're gonna get bored of doing it eventually. You're gonna want to spread your wings and try new things, you
Exact-
know.
Yeah, exactly. And with the news that not this year's Call of Duty, next year's Call of Duty is being delayed till 2024, we're starting to
Ooh.
see a change, but again, too little, too late, like KB said. You know, and that's a great point.
Yep.
All right. Final thing from Activision Blizzard. Blizzard and Vicarious Visions have officially merged. Now, this was announced, I think, around the same time as Vicarious Visions had been taken over the, what was it, the Diablo 2 remake? I believe they took over the Diablo 2 remake, and then it was announced that they were going to merge with Blizzard. That has officially happened. And Vicarious Visions, for those that don't remember, they were the ones that worked on the Crash Insane trilogy, and then they also worked on the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake, and then they got put on the Diablo 2 remake after things were just not going well with that, so they decided to put Vicarious Visions on there, and then they just decided to merge them with Blizzard, and it's officially happened. I'm just going to say this. It's a little disappointing that they decided to do that with Vicarious Visions, because they did a really good job with both Crash Insane and both Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. They basically brought those franchises back from the grave. And I understand Diablo 2. That was one of the biggest games ever, really. I mean, Diablo 2, it still has a dedicated fan base to this day, even with Diablo 3 out, even with the new Diablo 4 in the works. I mean, people still swear by Diablo 2. So I do understand why they put them on the project. This merger, though, I don't know, because already the former head of Vicarious Visions has already left Activision Blizzard.
I mean, that tends to happen when someone buys out a studio. They'll like the head of the studio will get a cut of that buyout. So he's probably like, hey, I'm just gonna, go vacation on an island.
No. This was not a buyout. Vicarious Visions was a part of Activision Blizzard. Like, they were one of the studios that was a part of Activision Blizzard. He just decided to merge them with Blizzard, and the former head of Vicarious Visions left for, actually, it was never official. It was just a rumored that they weren't being, because they were supposed to be like a co-head of Blizzard with the head of Blizzard right now, but they weren't being treated as a co-head, something like that. And I don't know. I just don't know how I feel about this. I mean, I wonder how many former Vicarious Visions workers are going to stay after this merger and after the whole game, the Diablo 2 remake is done. So you just have to wonder what's going to be going on in the future with some of these companies. And again, I completely understand, because Vicarious Visions, they did a great job with Crash Insane and Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. I kind of get the thought behind this. I just don't know if they're going to get the results that they are expecting from this.
Some people doesn't like Activision, so he probably left because of that,
True. Yeah.
Let me ask you.
I mean, you were talking about the roots of the tree and everything, so maybe this is Activision.
Oh no, wait,
that was Meliodas.
No, that was Meliodas. That was Meliodas. My bad.
Yeah. So this could be we're seeing some root rot now, where
probably
they got what they wanted to get done, but they're just fed up with it.
All right, moving on to Sony investing $1 billion in Epic. And Sony was not the only one to do that. The parent company of the Lego company also invested $1 billion into Epic. And you can really understand as to why they would do something like this, because Epic just released the Unreal 5 engine, where you have just a whole bunch of companies already using it for games, one of which being Kingdom Hearts 4, which we will talk about later, because some opinions I want to get on that. And the new Tomb Raider game that's coming out, the new Witcher game that's being made in the Unreal 5 engine. So we're starting to really see these companies announce which games are going to be using the Unreal 5 engine. And it's just absolutely amazing because you have Witcher, the Witcher game, CD Projekt Red uses its own engine on The Witcher 3, and it's using Unreal Engine 5 for this one. I think a lot of PlayStation VR 2 games are going to be using the Unreal 5 engine, and we could see some Sony first-party studios using the Unreal 5 engine when Sony normally uses their own engine.
Unreal Engine is unmatched. I don't know what
I was
Epic
about to
is
say,
doing. I
The
don't know what
graphics
Epic
are
has
insane.
in
Exactly. I mean,
their
first of all,
engines.
it's one of the easiest engines to use. That's why a lot of indie developers love using it. Second of all, what Epic does with the Unreal Engine, it's just unbelievable what they can do. I mean, those engines keep getting better and better and better. All right, let's move on to something that we were talking about during that conversation. Kingdom Hearts 4 being made in the Unreal Engine 5, and the trailer was actually shown off in the Unreal Engine 4. And the reason I want to bring this up is because KB is a big Kingdom Hearts fan. Meliodas not so much, but figure I get both of their opinions
Funny
on
though,
this.
I love Disney. I'll try Kingdom Hearts 3. Okay, I'll try. I'll try.
KB, what did you think
So-
about that trailer, about that teaser that we got?
I mean, I'm not entirely impressed with it. Like the graphics were insane. And if that was in the Unreal 4, then the Unreal 5 engine is going to be even better. The giant heartless was pretty cool. Seeing Organization 13 pop up was nice. The whole cityscape kind of thing, not my jam. I play Kingdom Hearts for running around in Disney worlds, not, the other little places. The one big attack that Sora did was really cool. I'm glad that they chose not to do the Disney theme park ride thing that they did in Kingdom Hearts 3. That was definitely I don't like that part of Kingdom Hearts 3. It's one of the reasons I keep dropping off of it, is that little ride super special attack or whatever they call it. I hope it doesn't show up in a the next trailer that drops.
So is Kingdom Hearts not open world?
The whole point of it is you travel to all of the different Disney movies.
But just imagine it
Think
was open
Ratchet and
world.
Clank, but instead of traveling to planets, you're traveling to different Disney themed
But listen,
worlds.
imagine it was open world and you can run around in Disneyland as your character. That'll be sick. I will play that. I'm sorry, Quinn.
I
edit that out.
World. Yeah, like a hub world. That'd be fun. A
Like
hub
a hub-
world.
Yeah. I mean,
Mm.
Twilight Town, Radiant Garden kind of thing is interesting.
I don't
And
know. But I
then-
never played Kingdom Hearts, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, you're
What
fine.
the question I have is, what worlds do we think could appear in Kingdom Hearts 4 that hasn't appeared in Kingdom Hearts just yet? What worlds do we think?
See, we haven't seen The Incredibles yet, I don't think. I
Yeah,
haven't
we ca-
beaten
and-
Kingdom Hearts 3. So I don't know if I have unlocked all the worlds yet or not.
Yeah, I haven't beaten any of the games, so I don't
They
know what
might
worlds.
do. I'm gonna say the world. I never watched the movie, but it looks pretty. Moana. That'd be a fantastic. That'd be a decent world.
I was thinking Moana too.
Yeah, Moana.
because of the colors and stuff, and the
Yeah,
theme of the
that could
movie.
work. That could work greatly.
That'd be pretty nice.
But yeah,
What was the other one? Raya?
Yeah,
the
last
dragons?
dragon.
I don't know. Maybe
Encanto?
that one's
That one.
That
those
one
ones
too.
might be too early though. I don't
Yeah,
know
that's
what
the only
if they
thing.
put a time limit, Disney's this is ours for now, and now we're gonna cross over with Square Enix kind of thing.
yeah,
No.
could be something like that. Now, one more
Yeah.
thing I just want to mention: they did not say anything about what consoles it's going to come out on, but I think we can assume it's probably going to come out on everything. I think we
Yeah.
can probably assume that.
I don't think it's going to be an exclusive just because it's a Disney property anyway, and Disney's usually pretty big about getting as much money as possible.
Exactly. Originally, it was a PlayStation 2 exclusive when it first came out, but Kingdom Hearts 3, that basically was on everything. So I would expect this to be on, and when I mean everything, I just mean the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series XS, and probably Nintendo Switch. All right, moving on to some Nintendo news. It turns out Nintendo has acquired land adjacent to their headquarters. That's interesting. That's pretty interesting. I wonder what they're up to with something like that. I don't think they really confirmed it, but they sound pretty excited about
Mario Land.
acquiring that land. So what do we think they could be
How
doing
big
with
is it?
that?
They're
Huh?
gonna build Mario Land. How much you want to bet?
Let me see. I had it.
I mean, it's
Depends on how big the
Japan,
land
so
is.
it's
They're gonna talk about building a Mario Land for a while now.
That's
An
true.
Additional one.
true.
Yeah, they acquired land adjacent to their own headquarters for 40 million.
That's a lot of land right there.
I mean, but
Quote
that's
me
like
on
in the
that.
city, right?
Yeah.
So it's got to be like a skyscraper or something.
Looks like they might be expanding their headquarters from what according to this document that I'm looking at. So that could be it. They could be expanding their headquarters, which makes a whole lot of
Yeah.
sense. But yeah, I mean, Nintendo acquiring land. I know that's something we don't talk about that often, but I just heard about that and I'm like, that's very interesting.
I mean, you could add a couple more studios,
That too.
just expand into new franchises, possibly
Maybe.
have dedicated space for it.
Well, we're gonna find out probably in a few years.
Yeah.
Most likely in a few years. Sony and Nintendo have updated their subscription guidelines to avoid accidental auto renewals following a CMA investigation. Now, Sony actually got in touch with players that had not been using their PlayStation Plus accounts for a while and let them know that they're about to automatically renew. And if they want to cancel it, this is how they go through that and cancel their auto renewal. Nintendo has taken away the auto renewal as a default setting when people sign up for Nintendo Switch Online and make it so that they can do an auto renewal, put that in as the default, not put it in as a default, but do an auto renewal after they purchase. And
That's
is
good.
My
yeah.
my Nintendo, I don't even touch my Nintendo, and then with auto renewals every what year or some change. I don't
Yeah.
mind because it's only like what $20 or whatever.
Yeah, the Nintendo Switch one is only, I think for a single player it's like $17.99, and for like a family account it's like $35, and you
Yeah,
get
I
like
use-
12.
So like a whole year for like
Um,
$20. Yeah.
It's not a lot. It's not like PlayStation and Xbox where it's like
60.
yeah, it's like 60 for like the base one, $100 for like
Game
premium
Pass
or
Ultimate.
something.
$14.99 for Xbox Live, 100 games. a
Yeah,
month.
and this is a good thing. Now you can say, well, it's following an investigation by an organization, but you know, it that's going to happen a lot. The fact that they responded like this, it's a good thing for them. And again, what Sony did, they got in touch with players that did not use their accounts for a long time and that were about to auto renewal and let them know what they have to do to cancel the auto renewal. And Nintendo just took away the default so that it doesn't put them on the automatically renewal right away, that they can make up their mind on that. And that's
Sure.
really something that you want to see.
Right.
And I don't know what does Microsoft do with auto renewals, Sir Melios? Do you know?
The same. You can opt if you wanted to automatic renew or not.
Okay.
But for me, I have mine just automatic renew every month.
Yeah. So this is good for gamers. That way they're not actually paying an extra year when they did not want to do that. That way they can cancel their subscriptions and not have to worry about anything else. So this is a good thing. And I just wanted to bring that up just to let people know about that. All right, moving on. The Bugsnax DLC, Isle of Big Snacks, is coming April 28th, but that's also when the Xbox and Nintendo Switch versions are coming out. So we're now getting this Xbox, Switch, and the DLC all on the same day, April 28th. Bugsnax was a launch title for the PlayStation 5. It had been exclusive up until this point. And yeah, I was wondering how much longer until they were going to come to other consoles. And we finally got our answer for that. And we finally got an answer for when the DLC was going to be released. And Bugsnax, I did not play Bugsnax. It was a little bit too weird of a game for me. Basically, you're on this island where you have basically what Bugsnax are is just bugs that are snacks. And when you eat one, part of your body gets turned into the bug snack that you ate.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry, I cannot say it with a straight face.
That is just hilarious. I would never play that.
I know.
Yeah, and it's
I
not my
I know,
my
but
jam.
I know, but there were people that really liked this game, and it got decent reviews, and people did play the game. People did play it. Look, it's not a shock that the game was as it was because it was done by Young Horses who made Octodad. So are we really shocked by that? Probably not. But yeah, for fans of Bugsnax, if you're waiting on the Xbox and Switch versions, they're coming out April 28th, and the DLC is going to be coming out on the same day. So Bugsnax fans, you got a lot to look forward to. And lastly, we got some updates from CG Projekt Red. They have a new expansion coming out for Cyberpunk 2077 in 2023. And then the Witcher 3 next-gen versions have been delayed as CG Projekt Red has taken over that project. And we don't have a release date for that just yet. I'm going to start with Cyberpunk 2077 because while CG Projekt Red has done a really good job with improving the game and making the game better and trying to get people back on the game, this was a game that never should have been released in the state that it was. Let's all just say that right now. The fact that it was released in the state that it was, it just blows my mind. It's unbelievable. Too many bugs. I mean, the textures just were not done right. It's just ridiculous how messed up the game was when it first released. Right. Now it's come to a point where it is playable. We have the next gen versions out, but it's just crazy just messed how much of a mess it was.
Yes, messed up. Yes, it was, but the story delivered. The gameplay itself delivered. I honestly
it wasn't
cannot
the
wait
bugs
for the new DLC to come out because I'm still doing. If you go back and play the game now, you're like The Witcher. After you beat The Witcher, is still a crap ton of like side quests. I'm still running into, and the side quests are pretty hefty. It's like you think it's like part of the main story because it'd be like they'll have cutscenes and then a lot of dialogue and the whole 9 yards. So only time will tell how much content will come in the expansion for Cyberpunk.
And you've heard a lot of people say, well, why don't they just give up on Cyberpunk 2077? Well, they spent a lot of time working on this game, probably spent a lot of money working on this game, so they're probably trying to get back as much money as they can. Let's be honest.
They're not EA.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too. They want to make sure they get this game the way that gamers wanted it to be when all the hype was through the roof with this game. And then The Witcher 3 next-gen version's being delayed. Now, they said it's not in development hell, but they just had to take over the project. And I've seen this happen so many times. I mean, we've seen this happen
I'd rather
before.
them have their hands on it than another studio working on it.
Yeah.
I mean, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Square Enix had to take another company off the project, and then they had to basically start all over. And look how great that game turned out.
Good.
Yeah, definitely.
I should be.
And we just talked about the Perfect Dark reboot that had just been taken over by Crystal Dynamics from the Initiative, as they've been having problems, as Meliodas and I have talked about.
Well, they're not really like a big studio. From what I know, they do like was that them making the Wasteland games? Is that the Initiative?
No, I think the Initiative is a newer studio that was formed by Microsoft to try to to basically try to be like Naughty Dog or Insomniac, like Sony has.
Yeah, that's not going to work. I mean, I don't want Crystal Dynamics on it either from their track record with the Avengers game, but if you look back at Crystal Dynamics, they did pretty good with the Tomb Raider reboot. So it's 50-50 with me.
I think as long as they stay away from live service games, Crystal Dynamics is going to be just fine because we know how talented they are. But back to The Witcher 3 next gen. I think this is a good thing that CG Projekt Red has decided to take over the project. And then you hear people saying, well, it's a simple port. It's not really as simple as people would think. It's not really.
And it's definitely something you want to get done right the first time.
Exactly. Because we've seen remasters not go well. We've seen ports not go well. So you got to make sure you have it right. You got to make sure your ducks are in a row with something like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad
Definitely,
Projekt Red is taking those steps to make sure that.
Because like, just imagine if it was like the opposite, where like Cyberpunk 2077 came out perfectly and then you ported it and it was a mess. Can you imagine how badly your company is going to get dragged through the mud?
Oh yeah, that's a really good point, KB. That's a really good point. All right, guys, that is all the gaming news that we have for today. As always, I'm Diggs Gaming.
KB Hunting.
And it's been your boy, Sir Meliodas.
We'll see you guys next time.